Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and 2020 might have ended, but the cringe doesn't. And neither do I. We're back in Overwatch ranking something once again. Last time around, we ranked all the heroes' gold guns, and before that, we ranked my favorite heroes. This time around, we're going to be ranking every single map in Overwatch, from the worst to the best. Now, Overwatch has a surprisingly good amount of maps, but they also have a good handful of bad maps, most notably 2CP. That's why for this video, I'm not only going to be ranking them based on how well that they play, but also how they look. But as always, like I do for every single one of these ranking videos, I want you to tell me what your favorite map is in Overwatch. It could be a control map, it could be a hybrid map, it could even be a deathmatch map. If it's a 2CP map, get some help. Coming in at a solid dead last in the 29th spot is a unanimously hated map, Horizon Lunar Colony. Oh, poor Winston, man. Where do I even begin when talking about Horizon Lunar Colony? Well, it's a 2CP map, which we all can agree that 2CP maps just overall suck right at the get-go. And I know there's some people in the Overwatch community that actually like 2CP, but those same people also like coleslaw, so they don't matter. There's also a section of the map where it's zero gravity, you can't really hear anything, which admittedly is fun, but in competitive play, it's actually the worst spot that you can ever go to because it's just so... But the main reason why Horizon Lunar Colony deserves the 29th spot is that this map had to undergo two major reworks. Winston, the hero that inspired this map's location, has as many reworks as this map. That's just crazy to me. But now coming in next at the 28th spot might be a controversial pick, but all these could be controversial. This is Temple of ANUBIS, the very first map released alongside the very first look of Overwatch, but there's a reason why Blizzard chose this map to release alongside the very first trailer of Overwatch. It's for nostalgic purposes. While people will hate this map because it's once again another 2CP map, a lot of people will find ways to love it because they play this map so many times. Oh, I played this on launch. Oh, I played this since beta, but I say it's bad, and here's why. This map is always littered with Widowmakers and Junkrats, two of the most annoying heroes to try to counter because any single time that a Widow or Junkrat is on the enemy team, they're always God tier. But you wanna know what is a trash map in Overwatch? Junkertown. I mean, I'm not wrong. It literally is built on garbage and trash. Now, how Junkertown looks is not the reason why it deserves the 27th spot. It takes this spot purely based on how it plays. And not enough people are talking about how bad Junkertown is. This map is way too big for its own good. There's so much dead space that isn't necessary to this map. And the one and few times that it is occupied, guess who it's occupied by? A Widowmaker that's sniping every single one of your teammates down to the ground. But even though I said this map isn't deserving this spot because of how it looks, I mean, it's literally trash. Like, do I even need to say it, bro? Now, the next map on our list might be an unfair placing, but I'm gonna be putting AYUTTHAYA at 26. I feel like this is a very forgotten map because it's so specific for game modes, like 3v3 or 4v4 or capture the flag. Originally, this map was only made for capture the flag, and I think that's the reason why not a lot of people might have an opinion on it. I mean, would I call this map outright bad? I mean, the look of it isn't bad. Again, another sunset, beautiful Oasis type map, but the way that it plays, I don't really play enough CTF to have a strong opinion on AYUTTHAYA. I'm sure most people watching don't really have a strong opinion on it either. But a map that I do have a strong opinion on at the 25th spot is NECROPOLIS. I play a lot of 1v1s. You wanna know what map is in that rotation? NECROPOLIS. Why is this map in the rotation? I don't get it. It's so ginormous. And you and one other person has to go on the map and try to battle it out. No, you want to know what happens? We all wait in the back. We take little chip shots if we're playing hit scan or long range heroes. And then we wait for the timer to influence us to go to the middle of the map and try to take over the point. And even then, we wait till the very last second to capture the point. But, okay, so... At the 24th spot, we have KANESAKA. Now, if you say that this map is one of the greatest maps of all time, you know what I have to say to that? I think you're lying. You haven't played this map. You don't know what it's like. And if you say, oh, well, the look of it is so good and so modern, really brings out the Japanese aesthetics. Yeah, I agree with you. So do you think Hanamura is the best map of all time too? Yeah, shut your mouth! From my experience of playing on this map, it is way too big, once again, for another 1v1 map. If it is gonna be a 1v1 map, I mean, it's a good deathmatch map, but other than that, Man, anytime I put Zarya low on the list, I don't ever feel bad. Even though I want to, I'm putting VOLSKAYA Industry at the 24th spot. Nicknamed Drawskaya Industry is the main reason why not a lot of people like it. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say what I say for Zarya for VOLSKAYA Industry. I don't really have a strong opinion on this map. It's alright, not the worst 2CP map, but definitely not the best. We got another deathmatch map. Taking the 22nd spot is Petra. Now, I don't mind Petra, but just like all the other maps that I listed on this list, it is way too big. Specifically on the outskirts of like the temple section of the map, nobody goes to. Like you don't go there, I don't go there, my sister doesn't go there, I don't even have a sister. That's how many people don't go to the outskirts of the map on Petra. Plus, I haven't heard anyone else say this about Petra. It's really just a rock. Like, that's all it is. Now, at the 21st spot, we got a map that is honestly really good, and that's Castillo. The only problem that I have with Castillo is that it's already been done before in the form of Dorado. And I guess that's what's so cool about Castillo is that it's not supposed to be a full-blown map. It's supposed to be a little miniature Dorado map for, let's say, 1v1s. Like, it's great at what it does, provide a small space for everybody to have 1v1s or 3v3 battles, but other than that, that's it. Like, it's not bad. Up next, we have a map that too many people are hating on. This is a Paris Stan account. Now, the only reason why Paris is at the 20th spot is because I'm gonna get peer pressure to put this low on the list, all because, it's a 2CP map. Man, if Blizzard would have cut this map in half and just added one more control point on this map, it would have been the best control map of all time. Paris is such a beautiful map. You have the beautiful French mansion for the second point. You have the Eiffel Tower looming in the background with this beautiful ocean or river or whatever, a waterfront. And you also have a cafe and a concert going on in the attacking spawn room with one of the most beautiful looking Omnics of all time. And you're gonna sit here and say that Paris is the worst map in Overwatch? Really? Look me in the eyes and tell me Paris is a better map than Junkertown. Well, it's getting the same treatment as Horizon or Colony where it's gonna get a remodel. People's gotta stop hating on Paris because every single time people are in no chill kill lobbies, it's always on Paris. Why? Because it's beautiful. And at the 19th spot, we got another beautiful map, even though its intentions are supposed to look ugly. This is Black Forest. Another tightly compact map made for 1v1s and death matches is a very simple map when it comes to the structures. You have one cottage in one corner, another cottage in the other, and then two spawn rooms in the other corners, and then one giant house in the middle with a windmill spinning. And that's it. When you have a perfectly symmetrical map like Black Forest, you can't really find ways to hate on this map. Yeah, maybe how it looks because maybe you don't like the rain or when it's winter, the snow and how bleak and boring it is. But in a way, that bleak and boringness helps bring out the personality of Black Forest, which I really do like. But up next is the most recent release map for Overwatch if you don't count KANESAKA, Havana. You wanna know when this map came out? In 2019. God, we are deprived of maps in Overwatch. But Havana is purely an escort map where you gotta move the payload through the streets of Cuba, and it's a hit or miss for me. This map can be really good, or I can get steamrolled. There's no in between. While Pirate Ship Comp can easily be ran on Havana, I feel like it could easily get stopped as well because Junkrat can just lean over the various high points on this map and still be protected. I do like the colors, and I do like the Cuban-inspired structures, and I also like how they incorporated so much of their Overwatch lore within this map. I mean, when you release alongside the Archives event, you better have lore-inspired stuff within it, and a lot of the time it's inspired from like Baptiste's backstory and the Omnic Crisis, but overall, it's a pretty solid map. But claiming the 17th spot on our list is the OG 1v1 map, Eco Point Antarctica. So many Main Snowball offensive games were played here, so many 1v1s, so many Widowmaker trick shots were made on this map. Nobody can tell me that they hate Eco Point Antarctica, and if you do, I'll kill. Oh, bro, you whack, you're only putting it at the 17th spot because of me. No, I'm not. I'm putting it at the 17th spot because it has a Christmas theme every single time the Winter Wonderland event comes around, and that's why it's a much better death map than Castillo or Necropolis. Does Necropolis have Christmas trees and snowman scattered throughout the map? I don't think so. Eco Point Antarctica was brought to life in the May cinematic where so many people got the heart-wrenching scene of Snowball sacrificing their life for May so that she could save millions of people's lives. That's why this map is good, is that not only is it, well, good when it's played, but it also has a story behind it that just that just cuts onions for you. But now, boys and girls, is the highest ranked 2 CP map on our list, and this is none other than Hanamura. I'll just say this, Hanamura is the best 2 CP map out there. I mean, one of the 2 CP maps has to be the best, so why not Hanamura? It doesn't play that bad. It's so hard to say that because it is a 2 CP map, because it does play bad, but it's not the worst out of all of them. Plus the cherry blossoms that you see throughout the whole entire map adds a beautiful look to it. Plus the arcade and the beginning point at where the attackers spawn in is cool too, to add a nice little modern twist. And then the Genji and Hanzo dojo, where you can see various lore elements within the map too. This map, it's good at what it does, which is bring an Overwatch story to life, Genjis and Hanzos, but when it's actually played, but we got another lore-inspired map at the 15th spot, which is Watchpoint Gibraltar. Seen in the cinematic featuring Winston, where he recalls everybody back to Overwatch, is a map where you either get rolled or you do the rolling. No in between. But what's so funny about Watchpoint Gibraltar is that this was actually the first map to get a redesign. There was actually a 4th point on this map, where the first point wasn't when you went into Winston's laboratory, but it was actually at the dip. And I guess they removed it. I wasn't playing Overwatch at the time, so I don't know why they removed it, but man, that would have been very helpful to have that payload right there and not move all the way back. Hot gamer boys and e-girls everywhere, I have a change of opinions, which doesn't happen very often, but Nubani takes the 14th spot. See, originally, I despised this map, and it's all because the defense team actually kind of had an advantage when controlling the first point. Normally, it's the attacking team that should have the advantage on the defending team, and that's why I didn't like it, because it just kind of seemed unfair, which my opinions on that still kind of stands, but I learned to at least appreciate the map for what it is. At the 13th spot, though, we have another lore-inspired map, and this is Rialto. Originally coming from the Archives event, first seen in the Archives game mode, it was brought into multiplayer, just a daytime version for everybody to enjoy, and this is a solid DLC map. I love Rialto. The most notable feature about this map is obviously the beginning, where you have the river flowing, and you have the bridge where you see a lot of Roadhogs and Orissas and even Lucios and Hammonds try to get environmental kills, and still after like 2 or 3 years later, you have people still falling for that same old trick. Plus the Omnics controlling the boats in the river too is so cute too, and you can ride them as well. Like, I want to go on a date in Rialto. Like, this is where I want to have my honeymoon. But now taking the number 12 spot is another nostalgic map, because it was released so early in Overwatch's life, and that's Eichenwald. Later featured in Reinhardt's cinematic, where his character art went from a young boneheaded character to a leader of Overwatch, is one of my favorite DLC maps of all time. And maybe it is because of nostalgic, because I have played it so many times, but I haven't really found anything that I really hated about it. It's a very good and balanced map. But then this place gets all spooky for Halloween, and the look of it with Junkenstein's castle in the back, and then the candles and the posters and the bats flying everywhere. Like, there is so much to love about Eichenwald. Why isn't it higher on this list? Oh, I know why. Because at the 11th spot, we have our very first control map, which is Nepal. I'm gonna keep it a fat buck with y'all. The reason why it beats out Eichenwald and so many other maps is all because it's a control map. Now, you can't say 2 CP maps are god-awful and then say a control map is the best kind of game mode and then have Nepal not beat out so many other maps, all because it's a control map. Because on how it looks and the story, and sometimes on how it plays, yes, Eichenwald beats out Nepal, but it's a control map, so that's why it takes in the 11th spot. Inspired from Zenyatta, we don't know too much about Nepal, all because we don't have a lot of Zenyatta lore, or at least not obvious lore of the likes of Mei and Reinhardt when it comes to their featured maps. So that's why Nepal, it's kind of like the worst one out there. Yeah, it's a control map, yeah, it plays good, but there's not much else to like about it. But now cracking into the top 10 is one of those maps that I feel like you want to try to hate, but you can't, and that's Blizzard World. Another hybrid map where you have to capture the first point, then move the payload throughout the amusement park inspired from different Blizzard IPs. You have StarCraft, you have World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, so many different Blizzard games make up this world, and that's the sole reason as to why this map is so high on this list. Because it is so crazy and so much going on, so many rides and things moving, kids screaming in the back, makes it such an exciting map. I mean, tell me right now you would not want to go to an amusement park if it looked like Blizzard World. Tell me right now. You know, I take that back. I don't want my honeymoon on Rialto. I want my honeymoon at Blizzard World. God, if that's where I want my honeymoon, I don't think I'm ever gonna have a honeymoon. You ever have those maps that you just look at and smile? Well, that's Dorado, and that's why it claims the number 9 spot. I love Dorado, whether it's the fact that it's a Mexican city with so many different colors and buildings, the nighttime sky with the moon looming over us, and then the various lights that you see coming out from the buildings. It's just an all-around great time, and playing it is even better. You have key ledges and vantage points that Widowmakers and Soldier 76s can hang out on, but it's not impossible to get to them. You have stairs that are good for flanking around for Tracers and Genjis. Like, this map just welcomes so many heroes and so many playstyles. But now we got a controversial pick. Coming in at the number 8 spot is a fan favorite, Busan. This map has it all that every single Overwatch fan would want. A control map, a Korean map, so many fun parts within the map, whether it's the train, the arcade, the karaoke. This is the staple chill, no kill lobby. So why does it take the number 8 spot? Because of the Mecha Center. The place where D.Va and her team stores their mechas is the main reason why I can't love Busan. But Downtown Sanctuary, chef's kiss. And I love how they're slowly adding more heroes to the karaoke mix. Like, they added so many fun things to this map. And then the music too, don't even get me started with the music. But taking the number 7 spot is another good escort map, and this is Route 66. See, this is how you make a good escort map. Either look at Route 66 or Dorado. Junkertown, I don't know what you're doing. You don't need to have big, open, useless spaces, whether it's the outhouses on the 2nd point where you can flank, or whether it's the 3rd point where it has the mega health pack right next to the big giant truck, or maybe it's the freaking sky. Like, I don't know. Every single spot on Route 66 has a purpose, and also it's in the middle of a Grand Canyon, which, can I just say, this is not what Route 66 looks like in Arizona, which is where this map is inspired from. I mean, I used to live literally 5 minutes to the Route 66 in Arizona, but hey, that's all right. I'm not gonna complain. If we get a good map, then I'm all for not good representation of the actual Route 66 in Arizona, because this map, so good. But now we've gone to the highest ranked deathmatch map of all time in Overwatch, and this is CHATEAU. This map's design is kind of crazy because in a way you can interpret that there are 3 levels to this map. You have the basement where a large majority of fights happen, then the 2nd level where it's mainly like the outskirts or the open areas of the map with the statues or the bouncy pads, which is a lot of fun, by the way. And then you have staircases that lead up to what you could interpret is the 3rd level. But then on top of all of that, they made a Halloween version to this map, just enhancing the broadness of this map. We've now reached the top 5 on our list. Coming in as the first DLC control map is Oasis. When you think of good DLC maps, or when you just think of good control maps, I'm sure most people think about Oasis, and I don't blame them. And each and every single map has its pros, sometimes its cons. Like in Library, you have that gigantic hole in the middle, which isn't like ILIOS where it's gonna fall to your death. It's just kind of annoying to fall within that hole and then have to climb back up. City Center, you have the cars, which sometimes it can be a good advantageous point where you can try to push the enemy away, like if you're Roadhog or Reinhardt want to do a suicidal strat. And then Garden, I mean, you have the ocean right there if you just want to commit suicide. But at the number 4 spot, we got my personal favorite control map, Lijiang Tower. I love this map. It's very symmetrical and it's very plain, and some might say it's the most vanilla map in Overwatch, but that's what I like about it. See, sometimes you don't need a lot of gimmicks to make a good map. You just need a good structured map where you can go in and kill the enemy team. And most times than not, at least for me, I have a fun time on Lijiang Tower. But just like New Bonnie, I have a change of heart for this map, because at the number 3 spot, we have King's Row. Everybody seems to love King's Row, and I'm not gonna say it's one of the worst maps of all time, but I'm not gonna say it's the best map in Overwatch. It's good, it's well designed. The beginning point is very open. It can allow for Pharahs, Widowmakers, or even Tracers to flank around and do some damage. And then when you get into the middle part of the map, it's very tightly compact, which that's the spot I just don't understand why people like. Why do people like tightly compact areas? It just makes me claustrophobic. Like, spread out a little bit, but not too much, because then you end up like Junkertown. But coming in as the runner-up as the best map in Overwatch is my personal favorite map. I might have said that for Lijiang Tower, but I mean it for Hollywood. When people think of Overwatch maps, Hollywood is one of those maps that come into mind. So many good Overwatch League moments happen on this map. So many good YouTube moments happen on this map. So many throwers happen on this map. This map has seen its fair share of stuff over the past 4 years. But what makes Hollywood so good is that they made this map into a real place in real life. I hope people get the joke. But taking the #1 spot as the best map in Overwatch is none other than the Workshop map. This map is so beautiful, so aesthetically pleasing. It has everything that you could ever want with a map. A square. It's Ilios. Ilios is the best map in Overwatch. No one can say Ilios is bad. Now, it might not be your favorite, but you gotta admit, every time you see Ilios, you get a little smile on your face. Probably because you're playing Control map and not a 2CP map. Or maybe you remember the various YouTube videos made on this map. This map just encourages content. Whether you're a Roadhog, whether you're a Lucio, whether you're a Hammond, if you can get environmental kills, it's gonna be a fun time for you. Not for the people that are dying, but for you. I just remember Salty Fish going for the Lucio achievement on Ilios, and every single time I see this map, I just think of that. I just think of 2016. I just remember the golden ages of Overwatch, and seeing Hollywood, seeing Ilios, and even seeing Kings Row, you know, maps like that, I think it's the reason why we think so fondly of these maps, is because we remember the happy times and the good times playing on these maps when times were simple. You know, Blizzard, they're making new maps, but I don't think anything will ever take away from the beginning maps that were included in the game. But I'm definitely excited to see what maps we see in Overwatch 2, because I want that same feeling to revive itself again when I see the new maps, like how I do with all these other maps. But anyway, guys, let me know what your favorite map is in Overwatch. Is it Ilios? Is it Hollywood? Or is it Junkertown? Better not be Junkertown. But I see you guys later. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.